Imagine evolution wrote a piece of code, not in silicon, not in binary, in DNA, and then it deployed it, without warning, without permission, across an entire continent. You've seen malware crash computers, corrupt files, hijack systems. What you're about to see does exactly that, to a living ecosystem. This is the Joro Spider, and nature just pushed an update. We weren't ready. It didn't arrive with fanfare. No warning, no quarantine, just a shipping container. From East Asia, docking quietly in Savannah, Georgia. Somewhere in the cargo, a stowaway, microscopic, patient, already pregnant. The Joro Spider, Trichonephila clavata, had just entered the codebase of the American ecosystem. Version 1.0. By 2021, it had gone viral. Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Tennessee, Maryland. Scientists watched in disbelief. Because this spider wasn't just surviving, it was thriving, in conditions that should have killed it. Let's look at the malware itself. Female Joro spiders grow up to 3 inches across. Their legs, long, electric yellow and black, look like they were designed by someone who wanted you to be afraid. They spin webs, but not like any web you've seen. 3-dimensional, multi-layered, up to 10 feet across, woven in gold. Scientists call it a tri-dimensional web. It's essentially an aerial net, engineered to intercept anything flying through it. Mosquitoes, moths, stink bugs, even the occasional small bird. If a computer virus had a physical form, this would be it. And the silk itself? Stronger than steel by weight, more elastic than nylon. Biologists are still trying to replicate it. Evolution spent 50 million years perfecting this design. We've had 200 years of material science. We're not close. Here's where it gets interesting. And by interesting, I mean terrifying. Most invasive spiders fail in colder climates. The temperature acts as a firewall, a biological kill switch, the ecosystem's natural defense mechanism. The Joro spider laughed at that firewall and walked right through it. Researchers at the University of Georgia discovered something extraordinary in 2022. The Joro spider has a metabolic rate nearly double that of its closest relative, the golden silk orb weaver. What does that mean? It generates more internal heat. It survives temperatures that kill every other spider in its family. The code had been updated. Cold resistance patched in. By 2022, reports started flooding in from across the American Southeast. Webs everywhere, not one or two. Thousands, draped across power lines like Christmas lights, suspended between highway signs, coating entire tree lines. One homeowner in Atlanta described walking outside and stepping through 3 webs before reaching his mailbox. The spider wasn't just spreading, it was networking, building infrastructure, claiming territory, node by node. And here's the behavioral detail that separates this species from every other invasive predator on record. The Joro spider is shy, extraordinarily shy. When threatened, its heart rate drops. It freezes, it hides, it does not fight, it does not flee, it waits. It was built for coexistence, designed evolutionarily to operate invisibly inside a populated system. Sound familiar? That's not aggression. That's stealth malware behavior. Now we get to the real question, the one ecologists lose sleep over. What happens to an ecosystem when a new apex predator installs itself at every level of the food web simultaneously? Early data suggests the Joro spider is eating everything. Mosquitoes, yes. Spotted lanternflies, yes. An invasive pest itself. Stink bugs, absolutely. At first glance, that sounds beneficial, and some researchers argued exactly that. A natural pest controller, a biological solution. But ecosystems don't work like that. They're not problems waiting for solutions. They're networks of interdependence, balanced over thousands of years. When one predator suddenly consumes insects at scale, the insects that were already feeding native birds, bats, frogs, those populations don't stay stable. They crash, slowly, then suddenly. The Joro spider isn't just eating pests, it's competing with every native spider, every native predatory insect. It's rewriting the food web from the inside out. That's not an upgrade to the ecosystem, that's a hostile takeover. How does it spread so fast? This is perhaps the most disturbing part. The Joro spider uses ballooning, a behavior where spiderlings release a thread of silk and let the wind carry them. Sounds poetic. Until you realize they can travel hundreds of miles on a single wind current. Researchers tracked ballooning events moving Joro spiders from Georgia into the Carolinas in a single season. One spider, one wind event, new territory colonized. In computing terms, this species has built-in wireless transmission. No cables needed, no infrastructure required, just wind, just time. Current projections from the University of Georgia suggest the Joro spider could colonize the entire eastern seaboard within the next decade. New York, Boston, Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, Chicago. The firewall, the cold, was the last line of defense, and we just watched it get patched out. Now, to be fair, science is not in consensus on this, and that's important to acknowledge. Some ecologists argue the Joro spider will find its natural balance, that ecosystems are resilient, that native predators will adapt, that birds will learn to eat them, and there is evidence for optimism. Parasitic wasps have already been observed targeting Joro egg sacs, a natural countermeasure, the ecosystem's own antivirus, activating. But here's the problem with that argument. Ecosystems adapt, yes, but adaptation takes generations, decades, centuries. The Joro spider is not waiting decades. It's spreading now, this year, this season, faster than adaptation can respond. In cybersecurity, there's a concept called the window of vulnerability, the gap between when malware deploys and when the patch is ready. That window, for the American ecosystem, may already be open. So what do we do? Eradication is off the table. You cannot unrelease a species that balloons on the wind. You cannot spray an entire continent. You cannot build a wall against the jet stream. Biological control is being studied. Introducing natural predators from East Asia, the parasitic wasps, at scale. But that carries its own risks. History is littered with cases where the cure became a second infection. The most honest answer from science right now is, we watch, we monitor, we model. And we hope the ecosystem's own immune system kicks in fast enough. Because the alternative, a continent-wide web of a single dominant predator, is not a horror movie premise. It's a projected data outcome. Here's what the Joro spider actually teaches us. Evolution is not finished. It is not a history lesson. It is a live process, running updates constantly, testing new code against new environments. We disrupted the firewall when we built global shipping networks, when we connected every ecosystem on Earth through a single trade infrastructure. We didn't just move goods across those shipping lanes, we moved biological code, and we moved it faster than evolution ever intended. The Joro spider didn't choose to invade. It was deployed by us, through our systems, through our cargo, through our roads and power lines and suburban gardens. We built the delivery network. Evolution wrote the payload. And now, it's running. The question isn't whether the Joro spider will spread. The data already answered that. The question is, what else is in the next container? What other code is already in transit? Already ballooning on the wind? Already waiting to find its new host ecosystem? Evolution doesn't warn you. It doesn't ask permission. It just deploys.